The views and opinions expressed on Trudging Together are solely those of the host, co-host, and our guests. They do not necessarily reflect the views of any organization, fellowship, or other entity, and definitely not your boss, your neighbor, or that one guy in your home group. The content of this program is not intended to replace medical, psychological, or professional advice. If you're looking for that, please seek guidance from qualified professionals who spent way too many years in school. What you'll hear here is based on lived experience, recovery journeys, and the occasional bad coffee-fueled joke. Trudging Together is not affiliated with any 12-step fellowship. We are simply people sharing our stories and walking this path together, one day at a time. Thank you for joining us, and remember, recovery is serious business, but that doesn't mean we can't laugh along the way.
Welcome back. Welcome back Wednesdays. There we are. All right. Welcome back Wednesdays. Good to see you. Good to be seen. A little bit of time. Pretty tired today. Still wore out from yesterday's stuff, but yeah, it is what it is. I'm not hungover. This is my go-to line lately. I'm not hungover. It's always a good start. I'm just putting some finishing touches on peer-led pathways right now. I got to let people know what I'm doing. Not sure what to do, but all my Cash Apps are ready. I tried to hook up Zelle. I tried for like 40 minutes, but I called the bank. I'm like, "Can you help me set it up?" They're like, "Yeah, you can't have Zelle with a business account." I'm like, "Oh, okay. Well, that solves that problem." That solves that problem. We're gonna do a random reading. I don't have too much time. I have a meeting with Community Reach Center at 4 o'clock. I don't even know what we're gonna talk about. Welcome to the Trudge, Dion. I'm your host, also known as the Podfather. If you're here, please say hello. So we'll go to Chat GPT here, and okay. Give me a random reading page from the big book. At least today, I can feel my fingers, so I can still type and stuff. That helps. But then I gotta be careful on that because I forget. Right. All right. Ooh, page 52. 52. I love that page. It has the man. See, I forgot. Amber, the bedevilments on it. Should I really be meeting with this guy? What are we gonna talk about? We're gonna talk about starting AA meetings. Is that all I'm doing now? I'm just starting AA meetings. This will be for sober livings. This will be inpatient ones instead. Um, Still trying to figure out, you know, um, we're going to be doing a meeting at um, East Metro Detox, but we got to get through some listening because I'd really like it if Grassroots was part of it and they ran it because we would automatically have some people in it. But is it what's best? So I've taken it to the group, and Amber's about the only one that's replied. And she brought up some great points. And I forgot to put in that the people that are at Detox will not be attending this meeting, at least not yet. They just don't have the manpower and stuff for it yet. So this is being offered to the community type of thing. So all right, let's do our random reading on page 52. But in most fields, our generation has witnessed complete liberation of our thinking. Show any longshoreman a Sunday supplement describing a proposal to explore the moon by means of rocket, and he will say, I bet they do it. Maybe not so long either. It's not our age characterized by the ease with which we discard old ideas for new, by the complete readiness with which we throw away the theory or gadget which does not work for something new which does. How about music mediums? All right. Do you know how many different ways we have gone through music even since I've been alive? I mean, there's been records, there's been 8 tracks, there's been tapes, there's been MP3s, there's been MP4s, there's been CDs, and it keeps going. Now I don't even need to go anywhere. I can just go onto YouTube and find any song that I want. Yeah, right. And we constantly throw away and what is this? Well, we're making our lives more comfortable. Humans really love their comfort. We do. And if if it makes it better to where it frees up more time so I can spend time with family or whatever, it's okay. It's when we depend on these things. Yes. The more convenient your life, the less control you have of it, less freedoms you have. That's why I drive around a 2008 Honda Civic. It doesn't have GPS on it. You can't turn it off. Only I can do that. Or I can stall it because I didn't do the clutch at time or whatever. But it's the reasonings that we have behind all of this that you know. So I mean, we agnostics in this chapter. So what they're mostly talking about is the fact that the way that I was doing things before I got here was not working, and we are constantly upgrading, or everything's that newer and better and faster, and yeah, that doesn't mean it's right. Okay, so the next paragraph that we're going to read is what we call the bedevilments. This is where everybody lands. This is alcoholism in its finest. All right, this paragraph is what I would call a landing spot. It's something we all go through, and it is not dependent upon material acquisition. We had to ask ourselves why we shouldn't apply to our human problems the same readiness to change our point of view. We were having trouble with personal relations. We couldn't control our emotional natures. We were a prey to misery and depression. We couldn't make a living. We had a feeling of uselessness. We were full of fear. We were unhappy. We couldn't seem to be a real help to other people. Was not a basic solution of these bedevilments more important than whether we should see newsreels of lunar flight? Of course it was. Right? So what are they talking about? What are they talking? Well, those lurking, outside things, right? We all have our stuff. There's contention. We all have our opinions, our thoughts, our processes, and you know, um, but the problem is I was running around saying how horrible the world was and that was just a distraction so that I didn't change what I needed to change in me. Yeah, this is denial. I'll I'll stop drinking tomorrow. We're gonna watch the moon landing tonight. I gotta be drunk while I'm doing that. See? All right. So when we saw others solve their problems in the simple reliance upon a spirit of the universe, we had to stop doubting the power of God. Our ideas did not work, but the God idea did. And you see a lot of new fangled ideas. And I'll let you know, why is that red? I'll let you know these aren't new. They just have different names now. I just have a red dot, and that's kind of weird. Okay. Not sure why. Does it go away if I do this? It does. Okay. That's why. Okay. I'm always looking for that easier sound. It's because we don't want to do the work. We don't like being told what to do. It's a lot of different things. It's a culmination of things, not necessarily just one. All right. The Wright brothers' almost childish faith that they could build a machine which would fly was the mainspring of their accomplishment. With that, nothing could have happened. We agnostic and atheists were sticking to the idea that self-sufficiency would solve our problems. And how did that self-sufficiency work out for us? When others showed us that God's sufficiency worked with them, we began to feel like those who had insisted the rights would never fly. I know for me, and I bring it up because I see it a lot. Hatred for certain people or certain types of people. I know for me, I don't do it that way anymore. All right, kept me pretty close-minded. See, that's part of how alcoholism can be dangerous, because we want to enforce what we're doing on other people. If we're doing the wrong thing, then we're spreading the wrong thing. See, we want the accolades. We want the look how high I can jump. Until you get rid of that need to be a super promoter, or the need to be recognized for taking out the trash, you're going to be caught in this. Yeah. Logic is great stuff. That's illogical, Captain. Right? Logic is great stuff. We liked it. We still like it. I like it. Sure I do. There's a lot of logic, right? Facts, things like that. But when I let it exceed its natural function, that's the problem, right? It is not by chance we're given the power to reason. We just read this like yesterday, huh? Yes, it was, but it was a random reading for a reason. It is not by chance we are given the power to reason, to examine the evidence of our senses and to draw conclusions. That is one of man's magnificent attributes. We agnostically inclined would not feel satisfied with a proposal which does not lend itself to a reasonable approach and interpretation. Hence, we are at pains to tell why we think our present faith is reasonable, why we think that it is more sane and logical to believe than not to believe, why we say our former thinking was soft and mushy. We threw up our hands in doubt and said, we don't know. Great place to be. We don't know. I don't know. Because that means that we can start to grow. All right. So yep. All right. I'm gonna stop it there. I didn't realize how much of a brain I did not have. So all right. Well, thanks everybody for being here, at least for a little bit. This is how long they used to be, 12 to 15 minutes. That was it. Now 12, 15 minutes feels too short. All right. I love you. You know I do. Peace out.